Question is the House to now adjourn. I call the member for Forrest.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. The world has totally changed with access to the internet. There are those who now live almost exclusively in a cyber world. There is probably no greater threat to the safety of our citizens, however, especially our young people, than the misuse of this great resource. The internet can be our greatest asset, but also our greatest risk factor. That is why cyber safety is such an important issue. We need an Australian population that is cyber savvy, much more aware and alert than we are now. We are constantly playing catch-up as cyber criminals become more and more sophisticated. As the internet expands and develops with faster speeds and greater reach, the threat grows. This is why we need to educate Australians on how to protect themselves and their families. The West Australian newspaper today said that according to Telstra, Aussie kids aged between 10 and 17 are online for an average of 2 hours a day, amongst the highest internet usage rates in the world. Now, do we know whether this is 2 hours of safety, enjoyment and learning, or 2 hours a day of risk? Now, this is a national problem that needs a national coordinated solution, in my opinion. Everything I've seen and done on this issue tells me that education is really the key. That's why I believe that cyber safety should be and must be made part of the national curriculum. Young Australians need the skills to protect themselves. It needs to be part of what they learn. In the United Kingdom, online safety is a compulsory part of the national curriculum for children aged 5 and upwards. Because it's not okay when a child suffers abuse because they didn't know how to protect themselves from an online sexual predator who was pretending to perhaps be another 13-year-old girl. It's not okay that a teenager takes their own life because they don't know how to protect themselves from cyberbullying that is so rife. I believe that cyber safety needs to be part of a national curriculum so that current and future generations of Australians will know how to better protect themselves online. They certainly need online safety knowledge and skills to be part of their learning environment. Now, I understand very well the challenges that this presents in relation to the national curriculum, but I've delivered cyber safety presentations in schools right across my electorate for the past 3 years. Now, I recognise the risk and the threat to our young people, and I want them to be better able to protect themselves and their families in their online activities. Now, these sessions have often involved federal and state police officers, and I would like to take this opportunity to thank the Australian Federal and Western Australian Police Services for their support. Their contribution has been outstanding, and they have assisted me in educating great young people. I've provided sessions not only for primary and secondary students, but also sessions tailored to parents and the broader community. And this is how I know that there is a need and what a great part of the answer is. And this year I've actually been asked to provide sessions from preschool right the way through to year 12. But it's the information the younger primary school children give me in these sessions that worries me the most. It's very clear that the threat is real and constant, and the bullying that they can be subject to can be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. It's often the quiet, the vulnerable who are victims. Equally, it can be those who are popular, or the talented sportsperson, or the academic. The numbers of online friends on social websites for the 8 to 10-year-old young children that I meet I find is extraordinary. It's just extraordinary. They certainly do not know the majority of these friends in person. And for them, the issues such as sexting, the risks associated with geotagging, are issues that they face on a daily basis. And as I said, it can be 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And there are continuous changes to the applications that they have access to. And so the risk changes constantly. Now, I want our great young people to have the skills to manage the online risks. This is their world, and they will probably be involved in the cyber world the majority of their lives, I would expect. And they are also part of the answer, because they're the ones who will help educate other generations, older generations, who were not brought up with this technology. And as I said, I believe that education is a major part of the answer, and that is why I feel so strongly about this issue.
Expired.